9:32.
Oh, okay.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It is 9:32. Please rise. Thank you. We'll open with a moment of silence and the flag followed by the pledge. We are, as I say, every meeting, these are challenging times, and so whatever your needs are at this point, we're all together at this time. And now our pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, we are missing on the agenda, but we are prepared for the corrections to the duplicate. So at this time, Cindy.
We have 331,390 in provision and 2,335,177 in subtraction. Due to court settlement, statutory exemption.
What's the net, Cindy? Do you have that? 2 million?
2,003,787.
And move we accept the corrections to the duplicate?
I move, thank you. Second, any discussion, questions? Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Thank you, Cindy. You're welcome. Okay, this time, public comment, agenda items only. So would you please?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys met me before. My name's Donald Kubik. I work over the corrections. Donald Kubik, K-U-B-I-K.
Is this on the agenda, Dawn?
Public comment.
There's a
No, it's at the very,
Oh,
this
okay.
is public comment.
I don't have
agenda.
a comment on the radio.
Okay, at the very end, if you notice, it says public comment,
Gotcha.
right under miscellaneous.
My apologies.
Okay, thank you.
We'll find something to comment on.
Sure.
C2.
I do have one, actually. Can I ask a question? My first time, the auctions for the guns.
Mhm.
See that? How does that actually work? Like, is that something public can get in on?
If you have an FFL
You need
license,
FFL, yeah,
you
yeah.
need an FFL license, and then we only had, I think, 2 bidders this time
Yeah,
for the first tranche. And there'll be several more coming up, but
yeah.
if a person has an FFL license, you make a bid on whatever it is that's being offered. And
Yeah.
in this case, the high bid was 8,700.
8777.
Yeah.
Yeah, just curious. I saw that first time.
And when Commissioner Moyer talks about the sheriff runs these, it's divided into groups of arms that he has established, and then that's how it goes out.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there'll be more options coming up.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, let's move on to old business then, this time.
I move we approve the minutes of the commissioners meeting. Oh, I'm sorry. I've got the old agenda.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't here for the 7-6 meeting. So I can't make it. Christie isn't here, so he can't make it, so we don't have a quorum to pass on the minutes. All right, let me move on and say aye.
May I move on, please, to old business number 1? In order to hear a motion to amend motion number 2022-51-153 to allow for an increase in the price for laptops and accessories in the amount of $325.10.
Are they for just general?
What we said, you have that motion? John, I'm a motion, are you saying? we'll do that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll second, go ahead.
Okay, are they for just the general use in the, are they gonna go for when you have the courthouse?
No, this is for needs at this time.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Number 2. Do I hear a motion to ratify the opening of the bids on 7/6/2022 for the Ramsey School renovation projects as follows? This is a ratification
So
under
moved.
A through
A through D.
Yep. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 3. Do I hear a motion to approve the actions listed in number 3, letters A and B?
Yes, I moved that.
I'll second it. All in favor? Any questions, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Proclamations and certificates. Do I hear a motion to approve the recommendations for our proclamations for our Eagle Scouts? And it's amazing to see all the Eagle Scouts that are going down right now. So it's really wonderful the work that they're doing.
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second it. Any discussion and questions? Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Moving on to new business. Personnel. Under number 1, motion to approve the actions listed in number 1, items A and B.
So moved.
And I'll second that. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Number 2. Do I hear a motion to approve the actions listed in number 2? Items A, B, and C under electronic financial transactions ratifications.
So moved.
And I will second that. Any questions or discussions? Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Number 3, travel authorizations. We have a combination of approving and ratifying. Do I hear a motion to approve the actions listed in number 3, items A?
So moved.
And I will second that. Any discussions or questions? Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Number 4, Monroe County Children and Youth Services. Do I hear a motion to approve the actions listed in number 4, items A and B?
So moved.
And I will second that. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor?
Are they a new contract?
There-
Most of them are renewals.
Renewals.
Renewal?
Yeah. Correct. Okay, any other questions, discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Moving on to number 5, Commissioner's Office. Do I hear a motion to approve the actions listed in number 5, items A through F?
So moved.
And I'll second that. Any discussion or questions? Okay, hearing none, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Moving on to number 6. Do I hear a motion to approve the actions listed in number 6, item A? It's the Monroe County Municipal Waste Management Authority,
So moved.
and I will second that. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Number 7, capital outlay purchases. Putting one item there, do I hear a motion to approve the action, item A and number 7?
So moved.
And I will second that. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? And number 8. One item, computer capital purchases, item A. Do I hear a motion to approve the action listed in number 8, item A?
So moved.
And I will second that. Any questions or discussion? None. Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, before we get to the public comment, are there any miscellaneous items that we would like to talk about at this point? I have one.
Go ahead.
Okay. The miscellaneous item that I have that I had spoken about before was, there are jobs available in the county. And I think it's very important that I be able to say that the county is a strong viable place to work for those of you that are looking for some new work or changes. And right now, because of COVID, we're seeing throughout the whole United States, let's talk about this, the changes in people and where some are moving, some are staying, some are coming, some are going, some are like some differences. Well, we're here too. And I wanted to make sure that we bring that to everybody's attention. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact our HR department. And there are jobs posted on our website. Ariel is helpful with that as well. And we have in the HR department, we have a bulletin board, as big as that area back there, covered with postings. And, it's all different types of needs, all different types of backgrounds. So you might find somebody out there that's looking for work that we would love to have you. Thank you very much. Okay, any other miscellaneous? Public comment.
Try this again.
Okay.
So almost piggyback off of your jobs.
And I have to be honest with you. I had that written down before
Yeah.
we even spoke. So yeah.
So like I said, I work out at the correctional facility. Want to take the opportunity today to come out and see the commissioners personally. Multiple questions. Have you guys received all the letters that myself and the other officers have sent you guys? Because none of us have received responses. We're all patiently waiting. I know you guys are well aware that we're facing a major staffing crisis out there at that facility, shortages. It's exponentially worse than I've seen in my 17 years. It's worse than any other county agency. You've got officers that are being mandated for 3 17-hour days in a row, having one regular 8-hour day, and then being mandated for another 3 17-hour days in a row, to the point where we've had officers fall asleep and crash and tow their vehicles on their way home. And we're reaching out to the commissioner, we're reaching out to the prison board, we're reaching out to the administration of the facility. We're getting no answers. We're getting no discussions on any type of help. Our contract, our union contract, I've got dozens and dozens of grievances. It's just being thrown to the side, violated consistently on the provisions of how much overtime we're supposed to work. There's set limits on it. Every single day, every single week, it's being violated. We're only supposed to do 5 doubles in a pay period. People are being mandated for 6, 7, 8. Only supposed to do 2 in a row, mandated for our protection. We're being mandated for 3, 4 in a row. Just looking for some type of feedback on, like I said, we've reached out multiple letters, multiple times, we've got no answers. What steps are being taken to ensure our safety? Because our kids have to worry about, are we coming home? Every day I go to work, I've been there 17 years. I work day shift. I used to get mandated once, maybe twice a year. I'm being mandated 2, 3 times every single week now. The other shifts are being mandated 3 times in a row. Completely outside the guidelines of Title 37, which has certain staffing numbers that need to be maintained for the safety and security of the facility. The day shift has to have 27 officers there to fill these posts. They will mandate every single officer available, and we'll still only have, we run 12, 13 officers short, which is what I sent you guys in the letters. We're supposed to have 27. We're running 13 officers short in the facility without locking down, without modifying operations. So we're 13 officers short. There are 0 rovers in the hallway. And I'm sitting on a max custody block with murderers. If I start getting assaulted, there is literally 0 people to respond. So I can go home safe tonight to my child. And these are being addressed over and over and over again. The facility refuses to put any type of protections in for us. I mean, it's the point where, like, we don't know what to do. We reach out, we plead, we get no answers from you guys, no answers from the administration, no answers from the rest of the prison board. And we just got to get told, work, 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 work. If we're too sick or too tired after 2, 3 17-hour days in a row and we go home, we get written up, we get told we can get fired while our contract's being violated. We're looking for something about what is being done to ensure our safety, basically. Like, what steps are being taken at this point? I know they're doing back-to-back 2-week classes to hire people, which is already backfiring because we're hiring the bottom of the barrel. We're hiring people that have criminal records. We're hiring people that have been fired from other facilities. What other steps can be taken at this point to ensure our safety? And I know the whole country's facing a staffing crisis. That is what it is. We got to work through it, right? That is what it is. There was a recent news article that just came out where Gary Heidel and and some of the commissioners and HR acknowledge the staffing crisis, and they acknowledge that unfortunately we're competing with New York City and Luzerne County, and Lackawanna County, and Northampton County. And all these jails pay $32, $33, $34 an hour. Make 25 bucks an hour. Nobody wants to come work for us to do the same job for $8 an hour less. Makes no sense. What did these other counties do during their staffing crises? They offered hiring bonuses. They raised the pay to get people. We get told we will do nothing. No hiring bonuses, no raising the pay. And in the meantime, we're getting mandated for 6, 7, 8 doubles in a row in a week without modifying operations, which is the key point I'm going to keep saying. We have to work through the shortage of staffing crisis. We can't snap our fingers and make it happen tomorrow. But in the meantime, protect us. Do something to protect us. Make operations change. Maybe offer a hiring bonus. We're still charging people to get a job out there. We're charging $130 for a physical, $180 for a physical. No other place in the country is, it's exponentially rare to see a place charge people to get a job now. Places are offering hiring bonuses, waiving the fees, something. It's just at a point where we are everybody in that facility, supposed to have 122 officers. We have 80-something active working officers covering 122 positions. Every single one of us is beat down, tired, exhausted, and stressed beyond belief, knowing every day we walk in there, we're probably not going home that day. We're staying for 17 hours while everybody else goes home after 8. And I don't know if I'm going home safe with my child because there's nobody to respond to the robocalls. So we're looking for something.
Well, thank you for your information. There's some clarification that should be done, but John, how do you want to?
Well, I
And I know
mean,
you, I'm sorry to cut you off. I know you guys are kind of like a little out of the loop, like you get from the prison board meeting where Gary tells you guys, or Joe McCoy tells you guys.
Well, I think it's important that the public knows that we are on the part of the
Yeah,
prison board.
oh, yeah, but I can
That's-
assure you, you guys are not getting the full story of what's going on. That's why we send you the letters or send you emails that might seem over the top. If you guys reading the stuff that we put in there that's actually going on, you might actually read that and be like, there's no way. This is over the top. And then when you ask Gary Heidel, I will sit here and tell you, on my son's life, he's a liar. He will flat out lie and not give you information.
I don't know that we can,
But
sir,
that's why I'm here to let
I-
you know,
I
like,
I
you
respect
guys
that,
don't
but,
have the whole story.
right, and we also, to counter, which it's not the place to counter, that's to say,
Okay, and I
how,
have no other option. That's why I came here today.
to accept that kind of language, I can't, okay.
He
but-
gives you false information on a consistent and repetitive basis. I'll clarify instead of saying liar, but I have to be frank, because like I said, for 2 years, we've been dealing with this. We've been beaten down for 2 years working these hours. 160 hours in a pay period, 150 hours. Like, people are working insane numbers of hours for 2 years. We're beaten down. And every attempt we take to reach out to you guys, because of what the facility administration does, and just disregards and blows off and gives the false information to you guys. We're here now. There's no other option. Like, I have to be here. There's literally 50 officers that want to show up. Like, 50 people want to walk in here. And being the head union steward, I can't let 50 people walk in here. It looks crazy. Not going to be productive in any means, anything happen. But we need something. Something's got to give. There has to be some type of change for our safety. At a fair minimum, there's got to be something. And we're getting nothing.
well, you've mentioned the back-to-back classes that have been implemented to try to get the number of corrections officers up. I think you're understating the number that could be active at this point by about 20. I think we're sitting around 100.
It's 100% wrong.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time.
Do
That's
we
my
have
wife.
100 working officers?
No, we haven't had 100 working officers at least since
And I-
prior to the pandemic.
I came from the shore for this meeting, otherwise I would have had all my information, but I can show you. I don't know if I have it here. I mean, this is just the active grievances from the last couple of weeks, the contract, by the way. I could show you, I keep an active rolling roster of everybody who is physically working, our total number of officers, who's out on workers' comp, who's out on off-the-job injuries, who's on military. I keep all of it. We're down into the 80s. We were just at 82 working officers before the 5 that you hired, and I see Amanda Elwood resign, Geist resign, that's 2. So we were at 82 plus 5 is 87, and we just lost 2. That puts you back to 85. We're somewhere right in that mid 80 number of actual working officers. And then when you count the workers' comp, off the job injuries, the military, then you're adding another 10 plus to the complement. They're of no use to us. With 80 something officers covering all the positions. And like I said, I get it. We got to work through it. We got to do it. There is no other option in the jail. It has to run. But when we're running a dozen officers short, and as per Title 37, I asked from Gary Heidel to get the Title 37 standards I have of each position that has to be staffed. You look at every one of these chairs as a position that has to be staffed per Title 37 for the safe operations facility. This is what we run like. There's nobody covering these positions. I don't see how that's acceptable on any level from anybody who manages that prison to willfully, and I have it in writing from Heidel and McCord, they refuse to modify operations for staff shortages. That's their exact writing. I can show it to you. I'll send it to you when I go home today. That's not acceptable, whether it's from call-offs or people not showing up to work, sick, whatever the reason is. If we're below a certain number of working officers, they are willfully putting my life at risk to not go home to my child. Willfully. Northampton County, the moment they drop below a certain staffing number, jail locks down for the day. Even if people come in and show up on overtime. Lehigh County does it. Lackawanna County, Luzerne County, Carbon, they all do it to ensure safety. My life is being willfully put at risk. And Joe McCoy laughs about it when you talk to him. We'll deal with it when it happens. Something's got to change. It's not acceptable to look this child in the face and tell him, I don't know if I'm going to work safe today.
When you have 135, I think was a class before last, apply for jobs, and you end up with 5 out of it.
Oh, I get it.
It's an indication of how tough it is to hire in any position, let alone the one that you guys staff, which is a very difficult position.
There's options that can be taken. I see we did a billboard now, which is good. We're doing 2-week classes, which is good. You can waive the hiring fee. What is $130 on a county that has a budget as big as we do? On $37 or $50 million in code, like there's money here to waive an application fee. Like I said, all these other places, there's no application fees. So we're still charging a fee. So there's other little steps that can be taken to also help the hiring process. Aside from what we're doing to hire, I totally get it. We're trying to work through it. My main point I'm driving home, which isn't being touched on by anybody that I send emails or letters to, what are we doing to ensure our safety in the meantime? Because for 2 years, I've been going to work and running below the standards of Title 37 for the safety of the facility with no rovers. 1 or 2 rovers. I've been there for 17 years. I've watched people get their face kicked in on units while inmates are literally choking the life out of them. And 6 or 7 of us it takes to get 1 person off. What happens when there's 0 rovers show up? What are we doing in the meantime to ensure safety in those certain situations? The hiring is totally separate. Till we staff the building, something needs to happen until then, is what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking. Have conversations with the administration, open and frank conversations. How come other officers are coming? Like I said, you're getting false information. And we need to come together. I ask Gary all the time to work together. I don't want to write all these grievances for you guys and spend $6,000, $7,000, $10,000 of taxpayers' money on 40 arbitrations each one. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of the funds in the county. But it wouldn't happen if we worked together and avoid this. There's things we can do to ensure our safety.
I totally agree in that respect,
Yeah.
but I also say that it is a working together. One of the primary working together is involving, we don't have any choices with working around all the union issues as well. So that is something that we can't negate. We have to keep out there on the table as well. And that's fair.
But what can
Now,
we do?
and that's a good question. And this is something we will absolutely talk about. We have been It's not something,
But for 2 years, we haven't gotten any response from anybody. So if you guys are having these conversations about what you're gonna do and what steps are gonna be taken, there's no open communication. So like I said, there's 80 officers sitting in a jail, literally wondering why nobody's talking to us. Nobody's telling us anything. There's no steps being taken. We hear from Gary Heidel after the prison board meetings, oh, hey, we discussed this. We get a little snippet. Well, what's gonna be done? Oh, in 2 weeks, you'll see something. And then nothing happens. So we're sitting there with no information. And on top of that, we get false and negative information when McCoy literally puts in writing, I will not lock a jail down because of staff shortage. What does that tell you? Like, come into our facility and actually work a day with the mental illnesses we have and the violence we have. I was out just a couple weeks ago because I had 2 fights back to back with inmates attacking us in 2 days, back to back. That never happens. And to know that my administration openly and willfully knows the facility is running at too short of a level to be safe, and look you in the face and tell you, I'm not gonna lock it down to make it safe for you guys. You guys just gotta deal with it. That's what we're asking for. Something has to change. There has to be more discussions with Gary and McCoy. Because like I said, it's not in compliance with Title 37, which is the laws that run jails.
and we've heard, okay,
You know?
so we're at the point where absolutely you stated your issues succinctly, respectfully, and I appreciate that. We're at the point now where we're going back over and now it's time
This is
to
the first
us.
time I get to talk to somebody in
Oh.
2 years. That's why it's frustrations that are beyond the group. So what I'm looking for is at the conclusion of this meeting, whether it takes into the next commission meeting, the next prison board meeting, in jail, some type of feedback, something that I can go back and tell my officers, hey, we reached out, we had a conversation. This is the steps that we're being told we're going to take. Like, I need some type of information to provide these people, because as he's a new steward, as the stewards, I've got 80 people that come to me daily. Hey, my contract was violated. I was mandated again out of the contract, which you have to follow, but they're not. Hey, my safety was put at risk last night because this is what happened. And I have nothing to tell them. I can't give them any assurances. Gary Heidel doesn't give them any. Joe McCoy doesn't give them any. This happens daily that people are coming to us like, what are we doing about this? We're not getting anything to tell them.
Yeah, we had people last week complain that they weren't getting the amount of overtime they were used to getting. So I mean, there's
don't know.
two sides.
Who would have told you that?
Well, it
Do
was,
you want the overtime report for the jail?
oh, I've
I'm
seen,
sure you guys see it.
I've
There's
seen
no
the-
way nobody in that jail is getting the amount of overtime that they used to get. I cannot,
no, apparently for a brief period of time, however brief,
never happen.
well,
It's everybody, I could call there right now, pick up my phone and be like, hey, I go back tomorrow's my Monday, I work 5 days. I can call right now, not even scheduled, and say, I want to go overtime the next 5 days, and they say, sure, we need you, let's do it. There's so much overtime because we are so short. Nobody's gonna get denied. You can be a brand new officer, the class that you just hired, those guys can volunteer and work overtime every single day. Whereas 10 years ago, when we were staffed properly, I was in the middle of the ground of 100 officers at number 50. Now I'm in the teens. I would have to fight for overtime to get it. Now it's whatever you want, take it. But then they even fight us on that. We have arbitration agreements that are supposed to pay us double time if we do a third double in a row, which isn't even, it's outside of our contract. That's why we get paid double time. They're refusing to pay us the double time. Joe McCoy and them, no, you guys can't do it. We're not letting you do it. It's, I don't know. We're just looking for something with our safety. The staffing, you guys, we just need our safety insured. There has to be something done to make sure we're safe. And what that really boils down to is modifying operations in jail. We had a long period of time where you come out to the jail for inspection, you see how it is. There's top tiers, there's bottom tiers. The units were originally designed for 32 people. Max is 64 when we double bunk units. Now we have times where there's 78 people on these units and 10 people living in a day room on cots because they're so packed. When we did that, we did top tier, bottom tier, 30 people locked in, 30 people out. We've asked Gary Heidel and McCoy until we get the staff members where they need to be, let's just keep that indefinitely. It limits my exposure. It limits the number of people out that one rover responds to if there's an emergency. And they laugh and they say, no, The inmates time out of their cells comes before you guys. That's exactly what we get told. There's steps that can be taken. When we're down 12 officers, we have 15 working, when it's supposed to be 26, 27. The whole jail should be shut down, locked down. Maybe 4 cells at a time come out. I called all the other county jails. Those are the things that they do. Our jail says, no, we're a jail. Operate it, run it. 64 guys, that's what you do. Those are the steps that I'm, being frank, that's what I'm looking to have. That needs to happen.
That's a place to start. I must say, it's only fair to say that we've allowed you to have your voice. Now
Absolutely.
there's another side, another voice. So, John, how would we like to move forward with this?
Well, 3 of the 4 prison board members are here,
Our
so.
president, right?
Yeah, and I try to come to the prison board meetings, but we work so much. I'm in the jail every time you guys have a prison board meeting, and I've asked Gary Title, if this is of the utmost importance to have these discussions at the prison board meeting. Can I please be released from my unit? Use my half-hour lunch break time to go up there. Absolutely not. You cannot go while you work. So I have no, that's why I'm here, because like I said, that's why I'm repeating myself. It's 2 years of frustrations of trying to have these conversations. That this is the first time I've been able to take a vacation only with my son. And I just drove 3 hours back here from the shore to get here, to be here, because it was my only option I had at this point.
Thank you, Mr. Kubik.
Yeah,
Thank you.
to be continued. Okay. All right. Any other public comment? Any questions? Okay.
Will we adjourn?
Okay, thank you. 11 o'clock, we will be having our salary board meeting, so we'll see folks back then. And then at 1:30 today, we have retirement board meeting. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.